Alright, today we are going to be talking about some built-in attributes of a Python class. So you already know that when you create a class, you define some attributes that that will belong to the class that you can use with the class. But this time we want to look at some built-in attributes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them I would like you to know. So the first one is dict. So the dict contains or gives us the namespace that contains the class. So the easiest way to understand it is to just use it. So let's start by saying um, print, and I'm going to say employee dots, and I'm going to now call dict. One thing about Python is that it gives you IntelliSense. IntelliSense is some test that comes out and helps you know what to do. For instance, if I say dict, or if I use 2_, you can see a whole lot of defined inbuilt attributes that can be used. So I would like to recommend you try it out, try to see what they're all about by just using them. All right, so we say dict and then we close. Okay, so let's run it and see what prints out. So it tells us the model is employee count is 0, init is function. So basically it's giving us the dictionary, more like the details about the class. Tells us the model name. The model name is a file containing the class. The employee count is a class attribute, is different from other attributes. Then the init is like the function that serves as a constructor of the class, right? So that is about the the dict inbuilt class. Let's look at the doc. So basically, the doc is more like a documentation for the class. Employee dots doc. So if a documentation has been defined, then we are going to have something, but if not, we are not going to have anything because we don't have any documentation for now. In a different lesson or in a different tutorial, we are going to see how to create documentation or generate documentation for the class. So let's look at another one, module. So you can say module simply tells us the file name that contains the class. So when we say from employee, import employee, so this is known in Python language as the module. So there is a module that contains a class. Technically speaking, more classes can be put into this employee file, as maybe I'll demonstrate that if I have enough time. Then we have the basis. So this I think will also be nothing. Basis refers to the superclasses or the classes that this class derive from. So I don't think we'll have an output. So say class object. So nothing is in there. So I just want to quickly demonstrate that you can have actually more than one class inside a particular file or module. So when we are putting two classes into one single file in Python, Python actually sees the original file as the module. So let's say we have class. I'm going to do something I will explain clearly later. I'm going to create a new class that derives from the employee. So let's say class driver, and then it derives from employee. And then here I'm going to say driver count equal to 0. So now I've created a new class called driver, and this driver derives from employee. It means that it will have all the attributes of an employee. I'm going to now define a new driver. Say driver def double underscore init double underscore, and then I'm going to now say car. So the car that the driver is assigned to is called car. So, or the make of the car he's assigned to. So just going to say self dot car is equal to car. So basically, we have driver a subclass of the employee class. So if I run it, everything goes fine. And if I go back, remember what I'm trying to explain to you is that you can have two classes in one file. In that case, you have one module and you have two classes inside this module. So let's open back our main file to see how we can use this. So where we have from employee import employee, we are importing the employee class into this file. So we can also say from employee import driver, right? And this is fine. So the question I'll ask you now is, what if we have several classes inside one file? Let's say 100 files, 100 classes inside one module or inside one file. Do we continue to write several import statements? No. What we are going to do is we simply import the whole module, import employee. So in this case, if we import employee, it's going to import everything into this file. It's going to import all the classes inside that module. So you can see now that these two becomes redundant, and that is why Python is telling us that these statements are unused. The reason they are unused is because we have this that covers them. So like we can just go ahead to remove them. So if you have a file that contains some things you would like to use without having to write them again in a new file or in a new program, simply import that file by saying import and specify the file name. So I'm going to stop here for now. I'd like to thank you for viewing, and also remember to leave me a comment if you have some comments or some observation you've made about my lessons.